Hello everyone and welcome to our lab recording. This is the lab number. This is the lab to be delivered in week 7. I believe that we have actually gone through most of the contents in this lab, but I'm trying to document it in a proper way so that it can be a good referencing material for you. So here talking about talking about the week 7 here. We're going to introduce you about the control panel, the main tools in the control panel. So this is the lab handout that I have drafted for you. I will be uploading it to you also with the material of this recording, and it is actually easy, and even nothing in details we'll be discussing to say, because majority of these materials, or like in these points, I mean like the services and the functions on the control panel, they will be discussed in more details in more advanced lab sessions. All right, so but what we'll be doing in this lab is that we are going to explore, like, in roughly what are the different what are the different features under the control panel. So these are the expected competences that that you should be able to obtain once finishing or practicing this tutorial. And these are the tasks that you'll be practicing in order to to fulfill the objectives here. All right, so without further ado, let's just go and start with our Windows 7 machine. Here, of course, actually, as you see, we are running on a virtual machine, and I believe that you already have some experience on how to do that, and how to handle the the operating system through the virtual machine, as we have taken in the previous lab sessions. All right, so I'm accessing here to my Windows 7 account. And with that, as you can see, this is the desktop, clean desktop. And so from here, let's just go and open the control panel. So it can be opened from here, like from start. This is the easiest way, actually. You just can't find it in front of your eyes. Or if you just want to go like in more details, or like you want to go in more to be more in search purpose, you can just search it up, like trying to type control panel. So first letters here will already display the what we are looking for. Okay, so this is the main page of the control panel, and you can see here actually different services different features have been grouped. Where under each group here there is actually a bunch of services and feature that can be further reached out. Alright, so the display here, you can actually make it up to this summative way, or if you want to go with large icons, you can just have everything in front of your eyes, or even you can just go and put them in small icons so that you can have them in all have them all in one view without the ability to scroll down, or moving your eyes, especially if you have a wide kind of display monitor device. Alright, so let's just go to the default one, so that because we're going to roughly go through them. We're not going to go in details later on when during the session of the detailed specifications. I will just go and select that to be more meaningful and more purposive to say. Okay, so the first thing, as you can see, in the control panel here, we'll have the system security. We'll have some kind of the user account, and that handle the the different accounts and the different account types. Also bringing some controls and how to configure family safety, especially when you have kids are trying to reach out and use this computer, and while their parents or any adults is just away from from monitoring them. Other settings here related to network and internet, and this is actually kind of pure networking related to view network status. Could be something dealing with them, creating the network, changing the TCP/IP configurations to be from dynamic to static, and also something here in another way related to the appearance and personalization. those things, I mean like those features that can be reached out whenever you want to change the theme, you want to change the desktop, you want to adjust the screen resolution. Actually, like links are being written here, they actually make even a more meaningful description of what's inside each one. Of course, you see the hardware, different hardware resources that can be connected, can find them and more information about them under this category. And changing the clock, changing the date, I mean like the date and the region, also adding keyboard, you can just reach it out from here. Programs, of course, all of us is already like should be familiar with this category, especially when you want to uninstall, you want to remove, you want to actually like maybe edit or modify. I mean like the installation process of some programs, you can reach it out from here. So, and finally, it's just the ease of access. This is actually a kind of administrative setting to say, actually we will not be handling it here for the level of the course, because you are actually in the introductory level, while you can, if you want, you can reach out more details later on by communicating me or like accessing the resources in the textbook. Alright, so let's just go and handle one by one. Honestly, I'm not going to go through in details as I mentioned to you in like each one, but rather I will just display you what's inside each. What's inside each category and how important is it and what is the purpose of it. For the level of this this practicing. And then I will be like instructing you whenever you've been asked to do one task. You already know you should be know where exactly under which category exactly you should reach it out. All right, so let's just like when we talk about like turning on or off, so this is kind of task. So whenever your admin or like whenever your manager told you, can you please turn off or on the firewall in your Windows system, or like can you just adjust something in the Windows update, you can just reach it out under system and security here. So with that, if you click here, you will find that there are actually a bunch of services and features you can even reach out here. So this is the Windows firewall, which is the main responsible for the security. So this is like, as you can see here, and the icon displays. So what do we mean by a firewall? I mean, to those who don't have that kind of basic information, it is the it is the main security tool that has been built in inside not even Windows but any operating system that you can find here nowadays. So the firewall here, it usually controls the access of the different resources to be to be either within to reach within the internal resources in the network, or even restrict or like limit or block, even to say those outsiders who are trying to access the system or the network. Okay, so a firewall can be like in terms of network, or it can be in terms of even like the local machine itself. All right, so here we can have some status or like some links to say, so you can check the firewall status here. You can also turn off or on here whenever you've been told to do that. So here now, currently the status is connected, and actually it should be connected, because if you have your firewall turned off, this will actually trigger a kind of a security vulnerability to to the system. And so here it displays that the firewall status is on, so it blocks all the connection programs. So active home or work, private network. So it is the network. This is the the kind of network that it's being configured at. Here public network. So this is for private network. Talking about the public network here, so active public network, so none. So it is not actually activating the public network. So it blocks all the, this is the same concept actually here the firewall is doing. So important thing here, or like the thing that I would like you to know here, is that how you control turning off or on the firewall settings. So clicking here, it means that you are completely shutting down the firewall services. So if you click OK here, you can see both of these sections have turned to be red here, and actually there is a button here recommending you to use the connected way of the firewall. So if you turn back here, you'll find it again to be turned on, because you have selected the recommended settings here. Okay, so you can actually even choose some kind of like details under this. So for example, block all the incoming connection, including these are from the list of allowed programs. So in this case, this is the most restrictive configuration if you click here, meaning that you do not actually want anyone to reach out your your internal computer. So I believe that like for this kind of setting, you cannot find it. Like it is not practical to be in your personal laptop or like to be in like an end user laptop, but rather it can be existed if we are talking about like a server that it's actually sharing information with users, and the only thing that it does, like to the end user, it only allows user to read, but not allow user to only those authenticated users to read information, but not to access or modify. So I will just leave this as a default setting. And also here you can this is for the private and also for the public. You can see both have different the different both same services or same options existed to be within both networks. Okay, so we'll close that, and then here you can just go and restore restore defaults here. So advanced settings here, if you click on that, let's just wait for this. So this is advanced settings for the firewall, and I believe that this is even out beyond that, the scope of the course. Here you can say monitor, you can provide kind of monitoring for the for the services. If you firewall rules, you can here say what are the rules that are actually available for the different services here. So for example, this is the TCP, this is the UDP, how the firewall is interacting with it. So whether to allow these, or restrict them. These resources to be within the that computer, within that operating system, are they allowed to be communicating or activated or not? So this is actually the possibility of the the responsibility of the firewall. So talking about inbound and outbound rules. Inbound rules, meaning that these kind of rules that are actually coming from the outside to the to the computer system. Is this computer system accepting any kind of service? If if it is allowed, then yes, it is accepting it. So whatever has been ticked with a green icons here, this shows that this computer system is allowing this kind of service to be connected or communicated with it. Within its core files or systems. Outbound here it's that whatever services from that from the local operating system or from the operating system of this machine can it be reached out, to be connected to the outside services or not. So again here the same thing could be like disabling or enabling it. Right click on any of those enabled or disabled, it will bring kind of a list of options. So here this is already activated, we can disable this option, or if this is actually inactive, we can enable it up. And as you can see here, let me just disable this rule, to not to mess up with the with the things here. You can even delete, you can even copy, you can cut. So all these kind of functions you can actually perform here. So also here you can filter by profile, by status, so all these kind of filters in order to only target or monitor. So this is actually a kind of monitoring the services. Well, so I think this is enough about that level of details in a firewall. So talking again here about the next function here, which is important. I will be selecting actually some functions. I will not be going through each one by one, because as I told you before, later on in the coming series of the lab practicals, we will be actually going into into specific with a particular functions inside this. So with now I will just point you to those who are those functions that are actually most commonly used here. All right, so power options, if you click here, you will find the different power options here. This is particularly if you have your system has been installed on a laptop that it's actually a portable a computer system, where you need to have your battery as a main source of a main source of power. So having kind of that battery being a main source of power, which is not actually permanent supply for the power, meaning that it can end in any time and it can drain in any time. So it actually, in this case, whenever you use laptop, then I think you need to really take care of how the power of your of your operating system will be, whether to be balanced. And you need to notice having the different plans for power, it actually affects the performance, because here the Windows, how they prepare it is that whenever you put in power saver, it means that the processor speed, the RAM speed, like the read and write rates, they will be reduced, because of course this will also take up, to take out most of the, take out more power in order to be function. So balance here is the most recommended one. Even if you're running on a laptop, as we have said, you can just put it on power saver, but actually because I'm running here on desktop, and that it's actually permanently linked to a power socket, I do not need actually kind of like a save power, but it comes actually in some cases. You can just select it, and even you can change the the settings here. All right, so let us just go and use that balance because it's recommended. Under it, you can change, like the turn off of the display. You want the display to be turned off after how many minutes? Let's say if I'm asking you to turn off the display after 30 minutes, so this will just only turn off the display, the screen. All right, it will not turn off the computer itself. All right, okay, so putting computer in sleep here, meaning that having the computer to be in suspension duration. So this will actually put the computer not to be functioning, but it will be in standby in order to be wake up again. Okay, so especially if you're running any kind of process here, after 30 minutes it will actually shut down. Especially, like let's say for example you're actually running a program that actually require more time of processing, so it will actually be stopped. Alright, so you need to take care of how to set both of these. So you can put it even to never, so that the computer will never be like sleep. It will keep waking. It will be in an active mode all the time. Even though if you have, doesn't matter, even if you have just put this to never, here the screen, like with this kind of settings, doesn't matter how many minutes you're putting the, the screen. The important thing here, this means that the processor and the computer system itself, it will keep active. But the screen here might be turned off after 10 minutes. But like moving the mouse or just giving any instruction by maybe pressing the keyboard button, it actually can change the screen to be turned on again. But important thing here about sleep is that how the function of the processor and the computer system will be active or inactive. Much recommended actually to leave it as it is, unless you're doing a specific task with the computer system. Alright, so you can change the advanced power settings here, and I'm not going to review this also, but this is actually if you're going for more details about the power settings, talking about hard disk and even different setting plan for different power, setting power plan for different peripherals of your computer. Alright, so restore default here. If you have messed up with with these settings and you do not know how to reset that, you can just find a way of rescue in this. Alright, so this is actually the important thing that we are actually handling here, and you can go here to choose to turn off the display, to choose when to turn off the display. It goes actually exactly the same thing. So let's just get out of that and go to again here to power options. So following our plan here, the task. So alright, so let me just take this enough from, take it enough from the current, from this category. And if you're actually eager and you have more curiosity, you can just explore the, the rest of these by yourself. And as I told you, we will be actually having some, another session talking about some of these in specific when, during the time of that, lab topic. Let me just get out of this, and now we're talking about the user accounts. Okay, so the user accounts here, you need to know that there are two types mainly of user account, or to say three types actually, but two of them are the most common and the most commonly used one, that are actually admin account and the standard account. So how to know whether you're actually admin or standard? So change your account picture here, or clicking on user accounts here, you can display that this is your current account that I'm running on now, and I'm an administrator account. And actually I can manage another accounts. Even I have I can select whether to have a guest account or create a new account. So the important two, or the two common accounts here, is that the admin account, and then there's another account called a standard user account, and we will be creating it now. The third one, which is the guest account here, it's just for those users who that we do not wish them to, to interact more with the different services. This account usually happen to be for viewing only. Let's say for example you are just in a receptionist hotel in a hotel, and you want the users to only have, place their, place their reservation order. Or like you are in a restaurant, you want the users to use the, to use a kind of computer system to place their order. It may happen sometimes. So you want the users only of this system not to, not to modify, but only to view and fill in the, a specific application, for example, and then submit it. That's it. You do not want them to view it. You do not want them to even delete it or like do whatever other tasks or other kind of functions. So with that, we use the guest account. This is an example of that. Alright, so the admin account here, it has the highest privileges, meaning that it has the highest priority to access as much as possible of the different services and features of Windows. He can actually create another accounts, he can delete accounts. This is the admin account. He can actually like change the password for other accounts. He can even like go and administer other services, for example security related services. He can even handle the other hardware resources, for example mouse, hard disk, and whatever privileges has been set up according to a specific configurations of that. Okay, so clicking on my account, this is my account here. I can change the account name if I wished to do that. I can make it like, for example, saying let me just not to mess up with this, and say Nadim PC, not that much far from the from the original one. Okay, clicking yes. So this is my account name, and here I'm having it already changed. I can actually put a a password for that. Changing the password if you don't have a password, or you can assign a new password. So you can just do that. I'm not going to do that because I've already done it. So you can just, if you have an existing password, you need to write it here, and then you can write the 2 attempts of your new password, and then typing the secret key here. Alright, so also you can change, you can remove the password if you do not wish to have a password at all. You can also change the picture if you want to have an avatar here, or you can actually browse for more pictures if you have your own personal picture you want to add, or any other pictures. So all these are actually features that you can manage in the account. So you can change the account type, being an admin. This is actually what we're talking about. Okay, so administrator account cannot be demoted. Demoted meaning that decreasing the the ranking of that kind of account into a user or like a standard account, because standard account, it's a low rank of account, so it's kind of a lower account. So it is the user who can actually have access, and he can modify, but not in the old computer system. And different user can be actually administered, or like can be controlled by one administrator or more. Okay, but like user, he cannot control the administrator account, meaning that user cannot view the admin account. He cannot even like change any of the privileges or change any of the account properties, like for example changing the account name, displaying picture, or like changing picture. So this is cannot be done from the user account, as we can see here. So you can also manage other accounts, and this is what we are going to do here. I'm going to create a new account here, and then I will, as I told you, I will just put it as a standard user. So this is user 1 account, so as simple as this. And then so this is here, just giving definitions here. Even this kind of statements can be informative to give like a description of the role here. Alright, you can reach more information here, so about like standard account, or like selecting the different account. Okay, so click create account, and then the account will be created over there. So we can also create password for that account here. Let's say that like the password I'm going to create here, and this is confirmation of the password, and this is the password itself. Okay, so as simple as this. Alright, so click create an account, create password. So this is it. So if you just go and you want to test, or you are already under the so now what we have done is just we have created a user account, but we are not accessing it yet. So now, because I'm still under the administrator account, so if you go to start here, clicking on this little icon, and go and switch user. Okay, so there you go. So your user account has already been created for you, and you can access it. Access is very easy here, and this is actually the new account. So let me just tell you this kind of information. So what does it mean by having a user account actually? Why do we need a user account? So a user account meaning that actually a different desktop for the user and a kind of a private or like a specific folder that can be stored within the system, so that maybe I want to have this account for maybe recording videos, or like having this account maybe to like for my kids, or like for like for kind of a friend of mine who is actually using my laptop alternatively with me. Okay, so I might be able to isolate my own files or like my own data from the other data. So if you can see here, I'm having a newly created desktop, and everything here it's just very clean, and seems that nothing has been done over here. Okay, so you can just have this access, and if you go to computer here, okay, if you go to C and go to users, and then you can see here there's user one account. So if you go here, this is actually the data that like these are the places, the special folders that have been created for the user account. So whatever data here, they will be isolated from the from the other users. Of course, depends on the level of the user. If this is actually a standard user, like administrator account, he can access him anyhow. But if like if we are talking about the administrator account instead of user, the standard user, of course any other account, if the administrator account put a password on this and configure the password to be activated over accessing the directories, of course no other account can access his own directories. These directories, when like talking about like the documents, links, favorites, downloads, whatever data. All right, so what about the others? So other other places of the storage here, they will be shared, and they will be available to all accounts, unless it has been defined, unless it has been configured from the admin account that different users or like specific users, they are unable to access the for example the storage. And actually we will not be going through these kind of deep details, because like the main purpose here, it's just to get introduced to how to create account, how to like play around and explore the different properties in the account. All right, so this is all, and let me just now go and switch the account to my admin account here, and there I am. So here I can actually even delete that account because I'm admin here. And yeah, I forget actually to tell you one thing here, maybe because yeah, if we just switch an account, I want to see if I can actually do something related to if I can modify the properties of the administrator account. Here I'm using the user account, that's a standard user account. So if I go to control panel here, I go to the accounts, and then I want to see the user accounts here, manage other accounts, I need to have an access. Of course, because here I need to have an administrator access, otherwise I cannot actually go and manage. So from user account, unless you have the password of the admin account, you cannot actually access and modify, because it's like a permission by the administrator telling you you can access the account. So let's say that we assume that we have the password, and then we have entered the password here, and then yeah, there you go. So you see, so from here you can even actually go and create another account, and even that account can be an admin account. So creating account, so the specified account is not valid because the account name cannot contain the following. Oh, okay, so because we forgot to do that, actually we didn't put the admin. So this is admin 1 account. All right, so if we click here, so there is a new admin account. How is this being created? It's actually created under the privileges of the Nadim PC account, who is actually administrator, of course. Okay, so I can assign him a password, and you see here also the same thing here, and then create a password, and then you can just go and even you can go to that user, the newly created admin account. So this is a switch a user, Now I'm having 3 accounts here. So admin account has been created. Again, I'm typing it correct. Yeah. So this is it. So a kind of a new desktop has been created, is to be created for me. And then from there, you can just go to the control panel. Let's say we want to delete the user account now. I just want to remain with the 2 admin accounts. So can go here and then manage other accounts again. Because this is admin, I do not need any kind of password, so I can go here and I can delete this account. So yes, they want to delete them, or you want to keep the files. This is another actually good option actually that has been available, that has been demonstrated by Windows. It actually allows you, if you want to keep the data of the account, you can create the account itself from the Windows files, but you can, you have an option whether you want to delete the personal data of that user or not. This actually will save a lot of personal information to be, from being lost actually, or like coincidentally being deleted. So delete files here because we do not have anything related to that. Clicking yes. So there you go. So you have admin and PC. Let me just go and reverse back to my my admin account here. So we'll go and log off, and then going to my main account. And there you go. So because here I don't have users, so it seems that this has not been updated yet. Control panel, user accounts, in user accounts here, and manage other accounts. Yeah, there you go. So this is the admin account here. So this is actually what you need to know about user accounts. So managing, deleting, and exploring more. All right. So let me just stop here for a while here, and then I will come back to you in another part. Okay. Just wait for me in the other part, and thank you for watching now.